Welcome back to another edition of Value My Vote 2011, one-on-one with the candidates. And we're joined by 14th District incumbent, Councilwoman Mary Pat Clarke. How you doing?
Good, thank you.
Thank you for joining us and
Oh,
sitting down with us.
I'm honored.
No, it's definitely an honor. We were talking off camera right beforehand, and you have a long history in the city.
Yeah.
A long history. You've done a wonderful work. We're here in this, the 6th District, and even the pastor and everybody here knows who you are. And you're way over in East Baltimore in the 14th District, so
well,
the shows.
Yeah, I did run several times citywide, and I was elected president of the city council. So I was blessed to be able to, for 8 years, represent the whole city. And I just went everywhere. I loved it. It was great. I love Baltimore.
And they never forgot it. Obviously, they never forgot it. Everybody knows Mary Pat. There's people who run for delegate and senator and say, I need Mary Pat Clarke's endorsement, or, you know, she's with me. Even in this election, you have some people like that. How does that feel? What motivates Mary Pat Clarke to get up every day and represent the citizens of the 14th in the city of Baltimore?
Well, I mean, it's like a family to me. I have my own family. I have 4 grown kids and 10 grandchildren now. But the reason I ran again when these single-member districts came into being was that I felt that there was only going to be one person. Let it be me. I didn't want to be on the phone for 4 years trying to call somebody that I couldn't reach or couldn't get connected with. So, but why is because I love the people that I represent. I really do. They, you know, we yell at each other sometimes, mainly if I'm behind getting something done for them, or if we're having trouble getting it done. People are, you know, they might get upset with me, but it's like a family. I love the 14th District family that I represent. It's a wonderful bunch of people. And I loved representing the whole city, too.
Now, let me ask you something. And you speak of that. Question P took it from 3 members to 1 member in 2003. Do you think that was a positive change for the city, or has it had really a lot of negative kickback from it?
Well, there are pros and cons. The good thing is, at this point, people know who represents them. They know my name. They know how to reach me. In general, people in my district know my name and how to get to me. And I know a lot of the people who live in my district, including the kids. So there's that personal connection. I'm around. They're around. We see each other at the grocery store, at a meeting. And so that part is good. That's really good. The hard part is there are 14 separate people in the city council now competing with each other for resources for our districts. For example, I need money for Coldstream, Homestead, Montebello to finish a plan that we initiated 5 years ago. And I'm competing with everyone else in the city to get that money to my district to take a small blighted area and level it and rebuild affordable housing. It's the only thing left to do. It's so blighted. And I keep pulling and pulling and pulling, and it's going along, but I need it to end. I need it to be done and redeveloped. So in the old days, with the great big districts, I was in the 2nd. There would be 3 of us. It was a big district. So we had more clout. And we had more clout at City Hall because we represented 1/6 of the whole population, and we could, you know, it was easier to put the pressure on like a mayor or an agency. But I'm a loudmouth, and and the great part is my district is full of people who fight for themselves all the time. They're advocates for different things, and very good advocates. So I can join forces and we can work together.
Now, you fought tirelessly for years, like you said, Coleman Street, Montebello, every
Chum.
part of your district you fought for.
Yeah.
What this year, with the slim budget we have, $60-some million deficit, what do you find this year is the biggest issues you're facing and fighting in your district, from education or housing, or what do you think is the worst and what is the best?
Jobs.
Jobs.
I mean, it really is. Just because everyone says that, it's true. I have so many of my constituents who do not have jobs, and you need to have an income to be able to live, to be able to support a family, to be able to really feel decent about yourself. And I've thought that if I'm reelected, that's going to go right to the top of my list. Getting jobs into my district and into Baltimore City, whatever that takes. Just, you got to spend a lot of time on that.
Yeah.
And matching them up with all the people I know, wonderful people, who need jobs and don't have them.
And it's hitting home. I mean, even my mother, she's a bookkeeper and accountant for the same company 22 years and lost her job this year. It's hard.
And it hurts your heart.
She's been in depression for a minute over it.
I know. It's, first of all, you lose the income, but at the same time, you lose your heart. In a case like that, where 22 years on the same job, it's like a family.
Yeah.
And now that's taken away. I know how that feels. And so just when you have to fight the hardest, you feel personally so hurt and injured. It's hard to get up and fight.
Well, you've had probably more than 22 years in your family
23.
on the council.
Oh, yeah.
In city government.
I have.
You're running this year for re-election
I am.
and probably get another 4 years in there.
We'll see.
Do you, and you said you didn't want to run citywide. You love the 14th district. You're there in the 14th
Right.
district. What are you playing besides the jobs? And just what you said, jobs are your number one for the next 4 years.
Right. I mean,
what are you looking
I've
to bring
thought
to the
about
14th
that.
district and over the next 4 years?
Well, schools are always been a priority of my kids. And there was a big effort this spring to somehow force the inclusion of about $6 million more in the city budget for youth jobs, summer works, youth works summer jobs, and more after-school programs. We failed, and we managed to get $50,000 more in the budget for summer jobs for youth. That is not $6 million, but the mayor announced just last week she's going to be unveiling a children's budget. Well, that's because of the pressure that the advocates brought.
Now, is that politics because it's an election year, or
I don't know, but when I see that budget, I'm going off and getting my chisel and carving it in stone.
Okay.
And that's going to be a huge priority for me. And adding to it what needs to be done.
And you are the
for our
chair of the
children.
education
I
committee,
am.
so people know. Yeah.
At least I am in
They're
this
watching.
term, yeah.
Okay.
So kids, their education and their ability to, to have the opportunity to be stars. So jobs, children and youth and their opportunity. Those are my two priorities. Plus, I don't want blight in my district. And that takes me back to the Coldstream Homestead Montebello, and we call that neighborhood chum. And we did the plan. It's a good plan. Fund it. I would look around and say, look at all the money that's going here and here and here. We only wanted, $3.5 million. It's probably now $6 million because it's taken so long. Let us have it. Let's go. Because that small change in that neighborhood is going to turn everything around, because it's really the one small corner that's dragging everything else down around it.
Well, if people want to learn more about Mary Pat Clarke, about your run, or in the council, how can they get a hold of you or your office?
Well, my email address for the campaign is Mary Pat Clarke, MaryPatClarke at yahoo.com. And I'm on that every day, of course, myself. And my office at City Hall is 410-396-4814.
Okay. Well, Councilwoman Mary Pat Clarke, we want to thank you for your time.
Thank you so
coming
much.
out here to join us for this Value My Vote video, and wish you well on the campaign trail.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks
And we'll be back with more of Value My Vote 2011.